Hello model railroaders, I'm Dave, welcome back to the layout. Have you ever had one of those occasions where you go to do a task and kind of like doing a renovation, where you start work on something and then you find you have to do two or three other things that you didn't expect to do to actually accomplish what you start out to do in the first place? Well, the canopy, I'll call it a canopy. The canopy there was one of those tasks for the passenger train slash station yard, I don't know what I'll eventually call it. And I'll get back to that after a bit, but let me show you where I'm at. I haven't had a whole lot of time to work on the layout, but I've been able to progress enough that I think I can give you a quick update. Okay, so in front of us I've got just a couple of turnouts laid out as to what's going to happen, and I'll use my track set as a pointer since I'm standing on my my little scaffolding stand here to get the view. So this is going to be the spur line that comes down off the main line, and this will serve all the industry and everything else down the inside of the upper level, and then that will loop around the corner there and down the peninsula and eventually join up, as I've mentioned in past videos, there at the mountain, and I think you can just barely see the turnout sticking out there. So from this point, for a passenger car to come in, I decided to bring it down the spur line, and we'll continue past that turnout there, at which point we'll have to throw the turnout and back the passenger train up into the station. So the train will follow along. I kind of decided to throw in a crossover at this point, just so that I can service something out over here. I don't know what it will be, but at this point I'm figuring I may as well put it in so I don't have to cut track out later to install it later. If it just dead ends at a little factory, so be it, or it can be more of a sub spur line that will feed other industries. I don't know, but it's easy enough to do now. So the line will come along and it will merge up with this Y here. Now, why I decided to go with Ys, no pun intended, was the fact that from that Y it will branch out to 2, and that will branch out into 2 more Ys. Now I'm using Pico Ys rather than Atlas. I found the Atlas Y was very splayed out, and I want them very tight. So from here, in this track I've already got laid down, that will each one will branch out into 2, of course, and that will be the 4 lines that will go under the canopy there. Now I've corked out the perimeter of where the canopy is going to sit, and then the one platform here will sit down the center here between the tracks. Now the reason I went with the Ys is I need to get 4 rail cars down each of these lines, and the canopy, when I build the second one in onto the first one, that will allow me to essentially be able to technically offload passengers from the inner first car door, which would be, say, here, and then or I guess I'll use that one since I've got 2 of them here, the inner first car door from here, the 2 here, the 2 in the next one, and then just the inner door of the 4th one will be at the platform. So that way it will look fairly realistic, and the one car won't be hanging out off the platform, giving a weird look to it. Now that will give me 16 slots. So that's the reason I did a Y rather than a stepped ladder, because for me to get my 4 cars on the innermost or the outermost, whichever way you want to look at it, track here, that would mean my left-handed turnouts would move back a fair ways, and I would have, you know, a really long inside track, and then the shorter and the shorter and the shortest one being at this length, where, well, actually it's about here, where 4 cars will fit. So I didn't like that ladder look, and I kind of like the Ys. I had them, so I wanted to change the look up a bit and just have a different dynamic. Now down here at the end, I do have to put another piece on till it comes to the joint, and then from that point forward I'll just put in a piece of track with a bumper on it, and then that will be a removable. Even if I join it up, I don't know if I'll actually join the pieces that will be on each side of the benchwork. So I'll give you a little closer in view so you can see that joint running down here. So I can get the 4 cars I wanted on there, and that will work out for me. It's just a matter of a little more time to get these 2 tracks laid down. And as you can see, as I did mentioned in previous videos, I lay down the 1 bit of cork and take the marker and mark the edge, and then put the 2nd piece of cork down so that I can tell easily through the track where the center point is for me to line the holes up in the ties through, just like I've done here. So that gives you an overview of where that's at. Some neat tools that I want to put out there are these angle blocks. This is a machinist will recognize this. It is a 2" by 2" by 2" angle block. Now these, I'm currently just using them as weights, but I did buy them so that when I do any buildings along with the magnetic, or I guess it's a steel base that you can use magnets on for building structures, because the bent angle there, and I'll go down and we'll take a closer look at that in a couple of minutes, that allows you to butt the building right up against the outside edge, and then you can use magnets to support the inside edge. Well, these are at a perfect 90-degree angle because they're made for machine work. As well are these 1, 2, 3 blocks. So you've got the dimension of 1" which is across here, 2" which is across here, and 3" which is across here. Now these blocks are neat as they have threads where you can join multiple blocks together. So I have not used that feature yet, but it is there. And again, these are a machinist tool. So while the edges are chamfered so you can't get cut on them, they are a true 1" by 2" by 3". So that, even just as using them as a spacer for something, it would be useful. But the weight of it to hold something down, or for a support for building, wall, it's not going to knock over, similar to these angle irons. And I picked them up here in Southern Ontario at Busy Bee. It is a woodworking and metalworking tool store. And they actually sell woodworking lathes, metalworking lathes, all kinds of metalworking tools and things, as well as clamps and all kinds of woodworking items. So it is a very neat store to browse through of stuff that you would like but can't afford. But when they do have fairly good sales, and as always, I've picked each of these sets up on during a sale. They do have 3" by 3" and even bigger angle blocks. Again, they're meant for machinists for supporting work when they're using on a boring mill or a mill for drilling. So, but they work great for this hobby. Now let's go back over and take a look at a building I haven't touched in about 4 years. I've almost got it completed. It's just waiting for the roof to go on. Now that's a magnetic capable base, because it is just bent sheet steel, but it does have a coating so that it won't rust. So this gives you a 90-degree edge that you can butt your building up against in the corner, such as that, so that you can get 2 outside walls supported, and then you can, the MicroMark unit comes with these little magnets here that you can put to support, you know, on either side of your wall to hold it while you glue the seams or you're waiting for the glue to dry. Now at Princess Auto, yes, Canadians will know the name Princess Auto. It's equivalent to Harbor Freight. They have, usually on sale, these magnetic angles for welding. And I think I got this on sale, I'm going to say, for $3 Canadian. And usually it's about $6. So I just wait for the stuff to cycle around and pick up a deal. So as you can see on it, you can do 30 degrees, 45, 60, 90, 75 degrees. So it works out very well in conjunction with that base for supporting your walls, or if you're building a roof or something like that, it will come in handy. So as they come on sale, I think I've got 5 of them now, so I don't need any more to buy, but they're always a good thing to have, because I found that these little magnets here, sorry for the shadowing you, that one side is not glued on, and it always moves around. So I don't get a true square out of using these little magnets, where I will with that one adjusted to give me a 45. And that, in conjunction being magnetic with the 1, 2, 3 blocks and the angle plates, I know I'm not going to have anything move, because I could use the 1, 2, 3 block and the magnet to help put some magnets around it to help hold it in position. So it's kind of the harmonization of 2 different aspects of welding and machinery. You know, these minor tools definitely play a hand in our hobby. Now my problem is, when I open this box up, the base is brown. So now I've got to spray paint it gray, and I don't really want to dig out my my booth, because I'm not ready for that yet, and it's too cold outside to break out the rattle can and paint it. So I'm going to continue on with the track work up here, and at least get it to that turnout, and then we'll continue on. So I'll end my update for now, and we'll talk to you later on the next video. Bye for now.